Good morning and welcome to Tech Buyer Thursdays with the LinkedIn Marketing Solutions team. My name is Nora Sutcliffe. I'm a Senior Account Director here within our tech team in our UK business. And in my role, I help technology companies realize the value of the LinkedIn platform and really maximize that value for their organizations through helping them engage with customers and ultimately drive business growth. Today, I'm excited to share with you one of the key trends that came out of our annual B2B Technology Buyer Survey, which this year we've named the Age of Agility. And this year's survey is the largest survey we have run in the 7 years that it's been running. And through this series, you may have already joined some sessions prior to this one. We take one of the 5 key trends and we do a deep dive on it, and then we'll follow it up with some Q&A at the end. So this year's survey happened right in the middle of the pandemic and in a time where our organizations have shifted into this new world of work. And so we're hoping that today the insights we can share with you will really help you adapt to this new world of work and take these insights to the forefront of your go-to-market strategy on LinkedIn and beyond. For context, I wanted to share with you a little more around the survey respondents and the methodology that was used in the process. This was the largest survey we ran, as I just mentioned. We ran it to 6,000 respondents globally, and in EMEA, for EMEA markets, it represented 39%, which is great. Personally, very excited about that we're having a larger and larger representation of these surveys, which means the insights are incredibly relevant for our markets. So in terms of respondents, that was just over 2,200 respondents. In terms of the segments we surveyed, it was equally weighted across organizations in SME, mid-market and enterprise. And we fielded the survey this summer, so July, August 2020. So in terms of capturing the sentiment and the impact of the pandemic, it was right in the middle of everything. So the relevancy of these insights are very up to date. In terms of the types of technologies the respondents buy, as you can see, we've got here a really wide range and just wanted to share with you what some of that looks like. So some of the buyers in this survey are looking at hardware for end users, software for end users, hardware and software for data centers too, among many more. And then finally, I wanted to talk you through just some of the job functions that were included in the survey, which represents the dynamic and ever-changing B2B technology buyer committee. And so as you can see, there's finance in there, which you'd expect, but marketing, sales, business development, and even communications. So it's got a really wide spectrum of different buyer groups within an organization to give you a full picture. So with the results of this survey, we found 5 trends for marketing. And today we're going to be diving into trend number 4, which is the open frontier, which is the post-sales gap is up for grabs. So this is one I'm personally really excited about out of all the trends because it represents the largest white space for technology brands today. So one of the key things we learned throughout this survey is that buyers, technology buyers in particular, they are investing in an outcome. They want to invest in technologies and organizations that can help them realize the outcome and the value of that technology into their companies as quickly and as smoothly as possible. And so as you can see here, 50% of the EMEA-based buyers have said that the sales support piece, that post-sales piece, is actually a major factor in actually selecting a brand that they want to work with. And the reasons for this may not surprise you, is that actually implementation is often the longest and the most painful stage of the whole buying cycle. We wanted to better understand what that buying cycle looks like. So we also wanted to ask the respondents how it looks across their segments. And as you can see, across SMB, mid-market and enterprise, the implementation part of the buying cycle is the second longest after the renewal. And so if we're thinking pre-sale, it is the longest part. And as we mentioned earlier, often the most painful. And so it presents a great opportunity for you as technology brands to showcase your competencies in terms of how you help onboard companies, how you help bring that implementation in smoothly, and how you help them realize the benefits of your technologies quickly to help them through their digital transformation or any other pieces of value they've opted to work with you on. But the big question for us all is really to think about, where is the responsibility? Where does it lie? Traditionally, marketing is driving to the sale, and post-sale will then move on to customer success, account management teams, and so on. But I think with these new insights that we've seen from this year's survey, this is a crucial factor for buyers when they're considering you as a new entrant to market or as an established brand. And so I think it creates a real opportunity and a huge white space for you as marketers to start going to market with a post-sales message, to start talking about the competencies that you have that differentiate you from other organizations, and that being your smooth implementation process or onboarding process, and sharing customer stories that demonstrate that. And so that's really the question, and I'd love to explore it maybe in the Q&A and get some thoughts on this. And so one of the key things I wanted to share today is that if this isn't an opportunity in your organization today, start speaking with your post-sales teams, start finding those stories that help differentiate you from other players in the market. Because from these insights, you know this is what buyers are looking for, and you know that the post-sales piece plays a crucial factor in you being selected as a net new vendor, or even in the renewal stage. We also know that an existing customer is obviously much cheaper to keep for longer. So nailing your post-sales experience and continuing to talk about it in your marketing message is still going to create value for your organization, as you're going to be creating those lifelong customers too for the company. I know the technology companies I work with today are also in consumption models. You know, cloud is a huge part of the industry today. And yes, net new customers are a huge part of the growth strategy, but a very large focus with some of the clients I work with is making sure there's this continuous upsell in consumption of their products too. And so if we can showcase through marketing messages the smooth implementation that you provide, the speed at which you can help realize the value of your technology, not only are you going to help drive net new customers into your organization, but you're also going to keep your customers happier for longer, and help drive upsells too over the years. In a nutshell, I think out of all the trends, this represents such a great opportunity for marketers to be thinking about sharing that post-sales journey. I already see some great examples and uses of customer stories in marketing today, specifically in technology marketing. But the good news for all of you today is actually no brand leaders are offering their customers through marketing the post-sales story. So some brands have started, and we can talk about these in a moment, but none of the big leaders are really leaning into this yet. So I mean, they probably will now, but this is an opportunity. So think about how you can start bringing this to your marketing message. So yes, you're already using customer stories, maybe for industry examples to help you break into new segments, but how about having a whole new stream, which is all around implementation, customer success, and onboarding? Because we know this is a crucial factor for organizations when selecting a new vendor, and why not bring it to your message very early on, from awareness throughout nurture all the way to bottom of the funnel conversion and lead gen marketing. Here are just a couple of examples I wanted to leave you with. Some organizations who are starting to share through social channels the customer success stories of onboarding. So onboarding certifications, I know lots of technology brands do these and have these already. So a lot of this content might already exist within your organization. It's just about finding it and bringing it to your marketing message. And then the second is around community. I also see this with technology clients across EMEA, is community is a huge part of engaging with customers for a lot of tech organizations. So why not bring some of that outside of your closed off community within your services and share this through social channels too. It's a great way of having a small window into what the post-sales piece looks like working with your company, and some of the success in onboarding new clients can look like. So in terms of key takeaways, offer the post-sales support. It's going to boost your ongoing business. It's going to help keep customers happier for longer. But bringing that message into your marketing early on is going to help you win net new customers, because we know this is a real crucial factor for our clients today. And also just ensure that you're using this in your messaging throughout the marketing funnel, as it's going to help give that confidence to those net new customers that you're trying to engage with. Thank you so much for listening, and I will now pause before we go into some Q&A.
What do you mean about them? How can we utilize them a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think communities are a great place to start finding some of those stories that we talk about. So when we're thinking about what does that post-sales experience look like, lots of technology brands, and so many of you on this call might already have them, but for those that don't, lots of technology brands create these private communities for their customers. And I remember actually when I first started LinkedIn about 6 years ago now, when we were taking Sales Navigator to market, we wanted to create an environment where customers could talk to each other about everything from onboarding, implementation, measurement. And so when they were building that community, we invited in product advocates who in the form of customers, but then we eventually just opened it up to all our customers, and it created a great place for people to go to with general questions about product and implementation, but it just created this great community of customers. And so I know LinkedIn didn't invent that. We're not alone in that. Lots of technology brands have these, and so if you're not aware of one in your organization, go and find out, reach out to your customer success teams or your implementation teams. And often there's actually a community lead, somebody that will lead that across your organization, and see how you can leverage that for your marketing message. So like I mentioned earlier, often you will have already advocates who are customers who are part of that, but you'll also be able to extract lots of great stories from there. So I think communities are a really powerful way for you as marketers to go in and see, okay, what do we already have that can help us start telling the story, and what can we take, obviously with customer approvals and so on, to market. So I hope that answers the question, but do let us know if there's a follow-up on communities.
I love that Sales Nav example.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, right, there are more questions here. Tamsin, I'm going to hand this one over to you. So in terms of bringing this story to life, this post-sales story, what type of assets would you recommend to use to bring this message to life?
I love a question like this. Absolutely. And I think we have to think about how we take in information, or how we engage on platform ourselves, and kind of what works best for us as consumers of information on LinkedIn. And I know Nora knows I could sit and talk all day about the importance of motion on platform. I think if you think about how long we're scrolling now on day to day, I think we're scrolling the length some crazy stat of like the Eiffel Tower a day in terms of our social feeds, our website sort of visits. So I think I maybe 2 Eiffel Towers a day, but we really need to think about how we can jump out on that screen and that length of scroll to be thumb stopping. And I think video and motion are just so important to telling a story like this. And I think we could see it in a couple of ways. So potentially it could be video case studies of customers that you already have, that have had an exceptionally easy implementation process and they're huge advocates of your brand. Could we be running video case studies? We could also look at videos on the community that you're building, like Nora mentioned, you know, showcasing the community you're building, the types of questions that get answered in there. You know, this is a safe space for everyone to join and learn more before becoming a customer about the integration and implementation process. But then we could also think about a mix of multiple assets to add value. You know, we could look at gated assets for guidebooks, you know, on integration. So I think there could really be a mix of multiple assets to add value, but I think I could definitely sit and talk about how video on platforms, if there's a way to get the story across in motion, that would be my top tip.
Definitely agree. +1 on that, especially when we're talking about implementation. That might sound like a dull topic. So how can we make it, how can we bring it to life? How can we make it more fun? So definitely agree with that.
Exactly, bringing that human element, as we have been talking about in all the other previous Thursday sessions, bringing that human element and making it easy. Excellent. I'm going to, hopefully that answers your question. I am going to follow up, Nora. We had one saying, could this potentially be more of an organic play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the organic piece is really important when it comes to the post-sales experience and demonstrating what that looks like. And I think initially when I think about whether it's assets or communities, or we touched on certifications as well, all of these elements definitely feel like they naturally fall into an organic bucket, but I think they're also just really fundamental actually to your go-to-market message. You need to have that organic playbook laid out to share that message with your existing followers on platform, for example. So they might already be customers, but they might still just be in the nurture bucket. So I think the organic piece is really important, and definitely work to get that piece right. But I definitely think there's obviously the element of paid as well, but
yeah,
get working on both at the same time, I would say. What do you think, Tamsin?
Yeah, definitely. I think it absolutely does lend itself very easily to being an organic play, like you said, Nora. But I think this could definitely be like an extension of your lead gen, you know, for sure. I think we're seeing now from everything Nora's been telling us, the post-sales gap as being of utmost importance to our buyers to understand the ease of working with you. So shifting part of your lead gen strategy to gated integration guidebooks, you know, would even be a really great place to start. And I think if even thinking of putting paid, as we mentioned earlier, behind showcasing the community that you're building, how you're helping customers and how you could be helping them, the potential customers. We have to think your customers are your greatest advocates. So I think the paid piece too, as well as the organic piece, could add tons of value to potential customers.
Definitely agree.
Excellent. There was one more question, Nora, and I know we've actually spoken about this in the past, and it has come up previously from a couple of our clients. So you mentioned certifications and how awesome they are on platform. Can we collaborate with LinkedIn Learning for certifications?
This is a question I get a lot from my clients. So LinkedIn Learning, for those that don't know, you probably do if you're on LinkedIn and you're on this call, but it's our online learning platform, and there are thousands of courses on there. So I think initially what I would say is have a look on LinkedIn Learning and see if there's already a course that talks about your technology, because some of the most used or most accessed course on LinkedIn Learning is like a Microsoft Excel. And so there are tons of examples of that. So how to use technologies from lots of different brands, so it might already be there. So that would be my first port of call. Have a look and see if you're there. If you're not, I think it's probably a question for your business development team to see if they're working with LinkedIn Learning, if it's something in the pipeline. But I would definitely say that's more of a topic for business development and partnerships between the two. So definitely go and check that route first to see if that's happening. But have a look and see if there's already a course that exists, because there might already be one, and then you could drive people to that course through your organic play, I would recommend. Because one thing to remember with LinkedIn Learning is although we offer a lot of courses for free, and you can find out which ones those are online, or follow up with us if you want to learn more. Most of the courses are gated, as you have to pay for access to LinkedIn Learning. So bear that in mind if you don't want to be driving people to gated LinkedIn Learning content. But if you don't mind and you want to run it in your organic approach or your organic playbook, then definitely leverage that, for sure. Now, if you're not there, and the immediate opportunity for collaboration with LinkedIn Learning is not here yet, I'd say the other piece to leverage is if you have a certification program already existing within your organization, is use LinkedIn to shout about them. So use it to encourage your employees. That's quite a good place to start. You encourage your employees to talk about what certifications they've achieved in using your products. But then obviously the next piece is getting your customers to start talking about it. So I think we had one example in the presentation earlier of customers sharing how they've completed certain modules of using a technology in the onboarding process. And we have seen tons of these. I personally see a lot of them in my feed, whether it's the trade desk teams and their customers sharing their certifications, or Facebook customers or agencies they work with sharing the modules they've completed through their blueprint program. And then Microsoft, for me, I see all the time, because I work closely with them, through all of their products, they have a certification around every line of business that they have and every product that they have, because they have a huge learning culture that they try and instill within their customer base. So I'd say to kind of summarize that is, check first. There are thousands of courses on LinkedIn Learning. You might be pleasantly surprised that there's something there, and you could use that in your organic playbook and drive people there organically. But if that's not in the works and it's not there yet, use our platform to shout about your certifications and encourage your employees and your customers to start talking about completing their certifications on the platform. I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think that's great, Nora. And I think I would challenge anyone to scroll LinkedIn daily and not see someone, shouting about certifications that they have done. I see it all the time, and it's excellent. So yeah, I think that was a brilliant answer. Thank you, Nora. And we did have one that I just typed an answer, but just to let everyone on the call know if they didn't see it. Sylvia mentioned, are you going to send a record of the sessions around? I missed the previous one. So yes, don't fear. We will be sharing all of the recordings that have occurred so far in a follow-up email to all the attendees today. So hopefully, if you have missed any, you should be able to watch them as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tamsin, for being my partner again today. We've just got a couple of minutes left, but if there's I can't see any more questions. We don't have any more?
No.
Great. Well, if there's no more, we will wrap up. I think the only thing that we're going to leave you with is next week is our final installment of these Tech Buyer Thursdays that we've been doing. And that's going to be with our colleague, Ben Whedon. And there is going to be a customer panel on that one. So that is going to be fairly exciting. I don't think we can reveal all the names yet, but do come back and join us for that. And the topic's going to be all around the anonymous buyer, I believe. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be excellent. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, so if you would like to join us, it'll be same time next Thursday, 10 a.m. And we look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, Nora. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.